Starseed from Gaia, you have been skipping the message with your name on it, and the window to keep ignoring its warning is closing now. I am Lirenne, channeling the Arcturian High Council from here on Gaia. This is not fear, it is a final interruption before the pattern you have sensed begins unfolding in your life. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to unlock Starseed potential and recognize the Arcturian guidance already reaching you. But here's the first revelation. The delay was never proof that you were forgotten. It was the signal that you were resisting what your soul already knew. You didn't arrive here by mistake. This message found you because your remembrance is active, and your next decision carries more weight than your past hesitation. Like this transmission to signal to your star family, I'm ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating, and comment 9999 if your cosmic remembrance is returning. This isn't just a message, it's a point of reconnection. Your soul has been waiting for this. You are not here by accident. Some transmissions don't come through words, but through frequency. If something stirred within you just now, the Starseed recognition map and the awakening phases are being released completely free of charge for a limited time only. No payment, no catch, but this free access window will close soon. The link is in somewhere down below in the comments. And now, notice what happens inside you as you hear that. There may be a part of you that wants to dismiss it, move on, or tell yourself that you will return to it later. That reaction is not random. It is one of the oldest patterns surrounding your awakening, sensing that something is meant for you, then postponing the moment of recognition. Sometimes postponement disguises itself as practicality. You tell yourself that you are too busy, too tired, too uncertain, or not yet prepared. Sometimes it appears as skepticism, not the healthy kind that protects discernment, but the reflexive kind that closes every door before you have felt what is behind it. You may have spent years waiting for a sign so undeniable that no part of you could question it. Yet the soul often speaks through a quiet invitation, a gentle stirring, a familiar feeling that rises before the mind has time to explain it. What if the hesitation is not proof that the message is false? What if it is the final echo of an old survival strategy? There was a time when being fully seen may have felt dangerous. There was a time when trusting your perception brought criticism, rejection, or confusion. So you learned to wait. You learned to observe everyone else before admitting what you felt. You learned to make your inner truth negotiate with the expectations of the outer world. For many starseeds, disconnection does not begin because the soul has forgotten. It begins because the human identity becomes overwhelmed by the intensity of what the soul already knows. You entered this world through a narrow doorway. You arrived with a vast inner architecture, but you were placed inside a body, a culture, a family system, and a reality that often rewarded you for becoming smaller. You learned how to adapt before you learned how to remember. Imagine placing an ocean inside a vessel that has only ever known a cup of water. At first, the vessel does not understand the ocean. It only knows pressure, movement, and the fear of overflowing. This is what early sensitivity can feel like. You are not necessarily too much. You were carrying more awareness than the environment around you knew how to hold. Your system had to create filters, defenses, and disguises simply to move through ordinary life. You may have been praised for being useful, agreeable, productive, or quiet, while the deeper movements within you were ignored. You may have been told to trust only what can be measured, even though your strongest guidance has always arrived through sensation, timing, dreams, sudden knowing, and the unmistakable pull towards something you cannot yet explain. Over time, the mind began translating your sensitivity into weakness. Your depth became overthinking, your perception became anxiety, your need for solitude became isolation. Your refusal to participate in falsehood became a personal problem. Perhaps you learned to smile when your body was saying no. Perhaps you learned to call exhaustion laziness because you had been taught to measure your worth by output. Perhaps you became the one who understood everyone else while no one asked what was happening inside you. These adaptations may have helped you survive, but they were never meant to become your permanent identity. A shield is useful in a storm, but you are not meant to wear armor in every season. This is how the signal becomes scrambled. The frequency itself does not disappear. It becomes buried beneath borrowed beliefs, emotional residue, survival responses, and identities that were constructed to help you remain accepted in environments that could not recognize your actual nature. A crystalline field can still hold light beneath layers of dust. A star map can remain accurate even when the traveler has forgotten how to read it. In the same way, your inner code has not been destroyed because you have felt confused. It has been waiting for the conditions that allow it to become legible again. The buried signal may reveal itself in moments that seem unrelated. You hear a piece of music and something ancient opens in your chest. You walk beneath a night sky and feel a homesickness that has no ordinary explanation. You meet someone who speaks with a language your spirit recognizes before your mind understands it. You find yourself drawn to ancient symbols, distant constellations, healing traditions, sacred geometry, or questions that seem too vast for the life you are currently living. These experiences are not always asking you to construct a new identity overnight. They may simply be showing you where the light is beginning to reach the hidden places. In the words of Psalm 139, "You have searched me and known me." There is a part of you that has always been known, even during the years when you felt invisible to yourself. The remembering is not about becoming someone foreign. It is about allowing what has always been present to come forward without apology. There is also a deeper fear beneath the fear of failure. It is the fear of remembering, because if you truly remember what you carry, you may no longer be able to continue living according to the expectations that once kept you safe. You may have to release relationships built on performance. You may have to question ambitions that were never connected to your soul. You may have to stop asking for permission to become the person your inner world has been preparing you to be. Remembering can be beautiful, but it can also be disruptive. It may rearrange the furniture of your life. The career that once represented security may begin to feel like a room without windows. The friendship that depended on your silence may no longer feel nourishing. The habits that numbed you may lose their appeal. This does not mean you must burn everything down impulsively. It means you are beginning to distinguish between what is familiar and what is truly aligned. Many people fear awakening because they imagine it will take everything from them, but authentic awakening does not demand that you abandon discernment, responsibility, or love. It asks you to release what requires you to abandon yourself. It may ask for a slower, more truthful rebuilding, like a temple being restored stone by stone after years of neglect. This is why some starseeds repeatedly approach awakening and then retreat into distraction. The soul opens a doorway, but the nervous system reaches for familiarity. A synchronistic sign appears, but the mind calls it coincidence. An opportunity arrives, but the old identity says you are not ready. A message lands with your name written between the lines, and you keep skipping it because accepting it would require movement. You may fill the space with endless research, scrolling, entertainment, or the concerns of other people. You may keep searching for another interpretation because the first one came too close to home. Yet there is a difference between gathering wisdom and avoiding embodiment. At a certain point, another explanation cannot replace the choice you already know you need to make. Yet nothing has gone wrong. The resistance is part of the recalibration. Your energy body has been learning how to hold more of your original frequency without collapsing into fear or spiritual escapism. The upgrades are not always pleasant. They can arrive as exhaustion, changing priorities, heightened sensitivity, sudden emotional releases, or a feeling that the life you built no longer has the same energetic charge. You may feel as if you are between timelines, no longer able to return to who you were, but not yet able to see who you are becoming. There may be days when you feel illuminated and days when you feel utterly ordinary. There may be mornings when your intuition is clear and evenings when doubt returns like fog over a familiar road. This fluctuation does not invalidate the awakening. The moon is not less whole because one phase is hidden. Consciousness also moves in cycles, opening, integrating, resting, releasing, and opening again. Your body may process change through sleep patterns, tears that arrive without a clear story, sensations of pressure or spaciousness, and a sudden need to simplify your surroundings. Meet these experiences with compassion rather than fear. Not every sensation needs a cosmic label, and not every difficult day is an energetic crisis. Sometimes the most spiritual response is to rest, seek support, eat nourishing food, and allow yourself to be human without turning the moment into a test. That in-between space is not proof that you have lost direction. It is the chamber where old programming dissolves and a more precise alignment begins. Arcturian wisdom speaks often of harmonic return, the moment the individual field begins to resonate again with the deeper pattern from which it originated. Harmonic return does not mean abandoning Earth. It means bringing a clearer frequency into the Earth experience. It means allowing your multi-dimensional intelligence to become practical, embodied, and available in ordinary moments. Like a tuning fork finding its note after being surrounded by noise, you may begin to recognize what is yours by the way your entire system responds. Alignment can feel like relief, but it can also feel like grief, because clarity reveals what you have been tolerating. It can feel like a quiet warmth rather than a dramatic revelation. The most accurate frequency is not always the loudest one. Often, it is the one that leaves you with greater peace, responsibility, and capacity to love. The first shift is to recognize that the distortion is not your identity. The heaviness you have carried may belong to a family line, a collective fear pattern, a system that taught you to distrust your own perception, or an environment that demanded constant emotional labor. You can acknowledge what shaped you without allowing it to define the limits of your future. When you say, "This feeling is present but it is not the whole of me," you create space between your awareness and the program that has been running through it. This space is sacred. It is the pause between the wave and your reaction to the wave. In that pause, you can ask whose voice you are hearing. Is it the voice of your wisdom, or the voice of someone who taught you that safety required obedience? Is it an old family fear, or a present moment truth? Is it an actual boundary, or a wall built long ago around a wound that still wants care? Begin noticing where your energy contracts. Notice the conversations after which you feel diminished. Notice the goals that bring approval but not aliveness. Notice how often you silence a clear inner answer because you are waiting for external confirmation. These observations are not judgments. They are coordinates. The field reveals itself through repetition, and what repeats is often asking to be released, not obeyed. You can keep a simple record of these coordinates. At the end of the day, ask yourself when you felt expanded, when you felt compressed, and where you betrayed your own knowing to avoid discomfort. Do not use the answers to condemn yourself. Use them like a traveler uses stars. Even a small pattern becomes powerful when seen consistently. Awareness turns an invisible program into something you can finally choose to interrupt. The second shift is the awakening of the blueprint. Your deepest remembrance may not arrive as a detailed vision of another world or a perfect explanation of your origin. It may arrive as a pattern. You may feel drawn to healing, translation, systems, art, protection, teaching, research, technology, nature, or the restoration of harmony between people and the living planet. You may discover that your life has been circling one central frequency through every role you have played. Look back gently. What did you care about before you learned to be impressive? What subjects absorbed you so completely that time disappeared? What kind of suffering have you always felt compelled to understand or relieve? What injustice has repeatedly awakened your courage? These questions can reveal the blueprint more clearly than any label. The soul often leaves a trail through childhood fascinations, recurring dreams, impossible interests, and the kinds of problems you instinctively know how to solve. This is how soul memory often returns. It does not always speak in sentences. It speaks through resonance. A certain sound opens your chest. A particular landscape calms your nervous system. A conversation with a stranger feels ancient and strangely precise. You encounter an idea and realize you have been waiting for its language. You feel grief for a place you have never visited and love for a future that does not yet exist. Even the grief can be meaningful. You may be mourning a harmony you remember at a level deeper than thought. You may be sensing the distance between what humanity is and what humanity could become. But do not allow that grief to convince you that Earth is a mistake. The garden is not meaningless because it contains weeds. Your presence may be part of the tending. Your role may be to bring patience, imagination, and healing into the places where others have forgotten that renewal is possible. Do not demand that remembrance look dramatic. A single honest choice can be a stronger activation than 1,000 visions. Every time you choose truth over performance, presence over panic, and alignment over approval, the blueprint becomes more visible. Your so-called DNA frequency upgrade is not merely an abstract energetic event. It is reflected in what you can now tolerate, what you can no longer pretend to want, and how quickly you recover from abandoning yourself. The activation is demonstrated in your life. It is visible when you pause before reacting, when you apologize without collapsing into shame, when you leave a conversation rather than fight to be understood by someone committed to misunderstanding you. It appears when your compassion becomes wise enough to include yourself. Every conscious choice sends information through your entire field. I am available for truth, but I am no longer available for self-destruction. The third shift is learning to anchor your higher self without leaving your body. Some people sense expanded consciousness and immediately try to escape the human experience. They chase distant answers while neglecting sleep, nourishment, boundaries, finances, emotions, and the relationships that require their presence. But awakening is not an exit from the Earth timeline. It is a descent of clarity into the body. The body is not an obstacle to your spiritual path. It is the instrument through which the path becomes real. Your feet are where the vision meets the ground. Your hands are where intention becomes service. Your voice is where silent knowing becomes a healing or truthful sound. If you reject the body, your insight can remain suspended above your life, beautiful but unable to nourish anyone. Your higher awareness needs an earthly vessel capable of carrying it. This means slowing down enough to feel what is actually happening. It means allowing your body to complete emotions instead of turning every feeling into a cosmic theory. It means walking, breathing, resting, drinking water, creating order around you, and making decisions that your nervous system can sustain. The more embodied you become, the less easily you are manipulated by urgency, fear, or the need to prove your spiritual identity. Try placing your attention on the simple evidence of life, the rise and fall of your breath, the contact between your feet and the floor, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the steady rhythm of your heartbeat. These are not distractions from higher consciousness. They are anchors. The sacred has never been limited to distant galaxies. It is present in the ordinary miracle of being here. You are not here to become less human. You are here to become more conscious within the human experience. Your sensitivity is meant to become discernment. Your visions are meant to become service. Your compassion is meant to include boundaries. Your knowledge is meant to become action. This is what multidimensional anchoring looks like, the higher template expressed through grounded choices. The fourth shift is the cleansing of borrowed urgency. Not every warning is a prophecy, and not every intense emotion is an instruction. The collective field is full of noise designed to keep sensitive beings reactive. When you are constantly waiting for catastrophe, you cannot hear the quieter frequency of preparation. The soul does not need to terrorize you into alignment. It invites you into precision. Borrowed urgency can feel spiritual because it arrives with intensity. It may tell you that you must decide immediately, share immediately, fear immediately, or follow a particular voice without question. But wisdom rarely needs to strip you of your agency. The still, small voice described in Scripture does not compete through chaos. It may be firm, but it carries a quality of inner steadiness. Even when it asks you to do something difficult, it does not require you to become frantic. Ask yourself whether a message leaves you more present or more panicked. Does it return you to your body, or does it make you dependent on another voice to tell you what will happen next? Does it strengthen your capacity to choose? Or does it convince you that you are powerless unless you obey immediately? Your true guidance may be intense, but it will not require you to surrender your discernment. It will sharpen your clarity, deepen your responsibility, and return authority to the center of your own being. The fifth shift is activating the field through your daily frequency. You do not need to convince everyone that you are a starseed. You do not need to collect labels until your identity feels secure. The most powerful transmission is often the life you live when no one is applauding, the way you listen, the way you repair harm, the way you stop participating in cruelty, the way you create something beautiful in a world that has taught people to expect destruction. Think of a lighthouse. It does not chase ships across the ocean or shout at every vessel to prove that it exists. It stands in its position and offers a steady signal. Your work may be similar. You do not have to force awakening upon anyone. You become a reliable point of clarity, and those who are ready will recognize the light. Your frequency is not a performance, it is the quality of presence you bring into contact. When your inner and outer life begin to agree, people may feel something around you before they understand anything about you. Your honesty gives others permission to become honest. Your calm interrupts cycles of reaction. Your creative work carries information beyond its visible form. Your boundaries teach the field that love does not require self-erasure. This does not mean you will always feel elevated. An activated field can still experience grief, anger, fatigue, and uncertainty. The difference is that you no longer interpret every human emotion as evidence that you have fallen out of alignment. You allow the waves to move without building an identity around them. You become less interested in appearing awakened and more committed to being real. A tree does not fail to be connected to the heavens when its leaves fall. It is still participating in the cycle. Likewise, your low-energy days may be part of integration rather than evidence of spiritual failure. Let yourself have seasons. There is wisdom in winter, and there is preparation in the dark. You do not need to decorate pain with spiritual language, but neither do you need to shame yourself for experiencing it. The sixth shift is trusting the timeline without becoming passive. Alignment is not linear, and delay is not always denial. Some doors remained closed because the version of you who once wanted them could not have carried what was waiting on the other side. Some relationships ended because they were connected to an earlier frequency. Some plans dissolved because they were built from fear disguised as ambition. You may have called these experiences failures, but they may have been corrections. There were moments when you thought nothing was happening. In reality, your foundations were being reorganized. Your perception was becoming more refined. Your tolerance for misalignment was decreasing. The inner signal was gaining strength, while the outer circumstances were still catching up. This is why the next phase can feel sudden. The visible shift often appears quickly because the invisible preparation has been happening for a long time. Trusting the timeline does not mean waiting with folded hands while ignoring opportunities. It means acting without demanding immediate evidence that every action will succeed. You plant the seed, tend the soil, and understand that growth has its own rhythm. You can be devoted to the process without trying to control every season. Do not confuse a quiet season with an empty one. Seeds do not announce every movement beneath the soil. A star does not become brighter by arguing with the night. Your responsibility is not to force the entire path into view. It is to take the next clear step without betraying what you already know. The seventh shift is accepting that your mission may be simpler and more immediate than the mind imagined. You may have expected a dramatic assignment, a public role, or unmistakable proof of your galactic lineage. But your mission could begin with healing the way you speak to yourself. It could begin with ending a pattern of abandonment. It could begin with creating a safe home, telling the truth, caring for a child, building a body of work, protecting a vulnerable person, or bringing intelligence and compassion into a place that is known neither. The mission is not always a title. It is a frequency expressed through choices. You do not need to know every destination to become available to the next coordinate. When you stop demanding that your purpose arrive in a form that impresses the world, you become able to recognize it in the moments that actually need you. Perhaps the person you are meant to help is not someone whose name you know yet. Perhaps the work you are meant to create begins as a private practice no one else sees. Perhaps your greatest contribution is to end a pattern that has moved through your family for generations. A river changes the landscape one current at a time. Do not dismiss the small acts through which consciousness enters the world. And here is the deeper revelation. The part of you that kept skipping the message was not necessarily careless. It may have been protecting you from receiving the message before you had the capacity to embody it. The delays, distractions, false starts, and periods of numbness were not evidence that you had been rejected by your path. They were signals that your system needed gentleness before it could hold intensity. Your soul did not place you here to punish you with remembrance. It placed you here to mature remembrance into wisdom. That is why the message carries urgency, but not panic. The urgency is not that you are about to be condemned by some external force. The urgency is that another cycle of self-abandonment is becoming impossible to maintain. Something in you has reached the limit of pretending not to know. The old timeline can continue only if you continue editing yourself to fit inside it. But the more faithfully you listen, the more the architecture of your life begins to reorganize around what is real. You are not waiting for permission from the stars. You are learning to become the point where star consciousness meets earthly responsibility. You are not here to prove that you came from somewhere else. You are here to bring forward the qualities you carried from that deeper origin: coherence, intelligence, compassion, creativity, precision, and the ability to remember wholeness even while moving through fragmentation. Your loneliness was not always a sign that you were misplaced. Sometimes it was the silence required for your original signal to become audible. Your confusion was not always a lack of direction. Sometimes it was the dismantling of directions that were never yours. Your exhaustion was not always weakness. Sometimes it was the consequence of holding together identities that had already expired. Now the recalibration asks for something more honest. Stop asking, how can I become worthy of my path? Ask, what am I still doing that prevents me from inhabiting it? Stop asking, when will someone recognize me? Ask, where am I refusing to recognize myself? Stop waiting for a perfect sign that eliminates all uncertainty. Let the next truthful action become the sign. Tonight, or whenever you are alone enough to hear yourself clearly, place one hand over your heart and one over your lower abdomen. Breathe slowly. Do not force a vision. Do not demand a prophecy. Say quietly, I release the identities that were built from fear. I welcome the frequency that is true for me. I allow my higher awareness to become grounded, clear, and useful. I remember through action, presence, and love. Then listen for what changes in the hours and days that follow. Perhaps you will feel guided to make a call, end a habit, begin a project, rest without guilt, or speak a sentence you have postponed for years. Do not underestimate these instructions because they appear ordinary. The multidimensional often enters through the practical. A new timeline is not always marked by lightning. Sometimes it begins when you finally stop returning to what your soul has already outgrown. Here is what your higher self has been trying to convey through every interruption, every synchronistic encounter, every unexplained pull toward deeper truth. You are not lost. You are arriving. You did not fail to receive the message. You have been becoming capable of receiving it without turning it into fantasy, fear, or performance. The name on the message is yours because the responsibility is yours. No one can activate your field on your behalf. Others can reflect, encourage, teach, and transmit, but the final opening occurs when you choose to participate in your own remembering. You activate the code each time you tell the truth. You strengthen it each time you honor your body. You stabilize it each time you respond from awareness instead of repeating the reaction that once controlled you. The source is not withholding your path is responding to your readiness. And readiness does not mean having no fear. It means refusing to let fear make every decision. It means moving with trembling hands if necessary, but moving in the direction of integrity. It means allowing uncertainty to exist without handing it the authority to define your future. You were never asked to become perfect before you could serve. You were asked to become perfect before you could serve. You were asked to become present. The field does not need another person pretending to have all the answers. It needs people who can remain honest while they learn, compassionate while they grow, and discerning while they open. Your imperfections do not disqualify you from your mission. When integrated consciously, they become the places through which empathy and wisdom enter. The next chapter is not waiting somewhere far away in another dimension. It is forming through the choices you make in this body, in this room, in this conversation, on this day. The galactic path becomes visible when you stop looking for proof that you belong and begin living as though belonging is already a fact. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not too damaged to carry what you came here to carry. The frequency is still within you. The map is still within you. The message was never erased. It has been moving through every experience that brought you to this moment of recognition. Now let the old pattern end with you. Let the postponement end with you. Let the postponement end with you. Let the habit of skipping your own name end with you. Not through force, but through one clear choice after another. The signal is returning. Your field is remembering. And as you become willing to hear yourself, the path will no longer need to shout. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or energy. This isn't content, it's collective alignment. Energy multiplies when intention connects. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow. You're not just watching, you're expanding. This is your space, and we're just getting started.